Let's start with what I was talking about the last time I was here on live. I was very specific with my outlook for gold. I'm gonna be honest. This week, the market literally left me, abrupt moves that I was barely expecting. I mean, I anticipated them, but they came too fast than I would regularly presume them to be, and so it's just normal to sometimes just miss prime moves, right? Huge moves coming in the market, very unexpected, especially to do with the Japanese yen. Right, let's look at this is pound Japanese yen, right? A very huge drop. Pound dollar started really dropping. Pound Swiss franc started dropping as well. Pound card not doing much. Pound euro pound started to reverse. Gold, just like I anticipated, right? Just like I told you guys, which I'm going to go over pretty soon, when I told you guys that I expect gold to really drop. I told you when we break that 1900 is going to be like a free fall, and you're witnessing it live and clear now, right? It didn't really provide. I told you that it doesn't always present that sweet move. It would usually use that big spike, just like I told you. Who was on live? If you were on the live that day when I was explaining it to you guys, you can let me know, right? Let me know if you're on. Yeah, let me know if you're on that last week live when I was explaining that key thing that was supposed to happen on gold. Euro dropping, Japanese yen, AUDJPY has been dropping since. Aussie dollar, huge move, right? It was a prime target for me, but this thing literally just left me, ran over 70 pips from my initial entry already. Pound card, Aussie dollar card also doing its bit. Aussie dollar Japanese yen continuing in downtrend. New Zealand dollar also doing its bit. So we just can observe that this last 4 hours in the market, that is from 9 a.m. we have barely 10 minutes. Was it 10? We have barely 20 minutes to 1, which is when the new 4-hour candle is going to come. We can observe some huge moves in the market. Incredible moves in the market. Insane volatility, volume coming in strongly on the market, right? You can observe some insane volume coming in on the market. So now let me just go back to the gold outlook, right? I can see that a lot of you were saying you were here. You can clearly see, right, that exactly what I explained to you regarding huge gold moves. And then we went over this because people are asking, Kojo, you don't trade gold. How come you don't trade gold? Because gold is a very tricky pair, or commodity or asset or whatever you may call it. It's rude, right? Gold is rude to trade unless you are extremely aggressive, right? And then unless you also don't care about your funds that much, then even when it drops, you can just ignore that initial blip and still jump in on the trend. But if you care so much about entry point and then risk management, it wouldn't be like a first point of call or choice for you, right? So you guys can see technical analysis on point, right? And I explained my outlook, right? I literally told you I expect it to break, and once we're breaking like this, I expect it to continue its drip to this point, right? To continuously drip to this point, where I explained last week. Okay, I changed the color to white. That's why we're not seeing this. Let me make it black again. Yeah, continue dropping to this point, right? This point will be a valid point for me to see gold extend into. Then we can gather some momentum, possibly running this thing back to 2050. So let's see how it unfolds. That would be somewhere in November, heading towards December, thereabout, right? Gold is seriously hard to trade. Indeed it is. I'm not going to lie. You guys can clearly testify to that gold is not an easy asset class to trade. But this live is just to tell you the possibility of confluences in technical analysis, right? The portion that brings out clearly what gold was doing is the weekly time frame, which I explained to you, right? Last week we were particularly on this weekly candle. It was a little bit bigger than this, and I told you that I would expect this to shrink a little bit so that we have a little bit of weekly closure, right? To have that kind of a long week. Last week the body was somewhere here, so it was somewhat big body with a relatively long week. But I told you guys I would expect Friday to close downwards so that this thing can close a little bit, sort of having that kind of a shooting star kind of a candlestick, right? And then I told you that next week where I expect us to drip, I wouldn't expect us to just drop straight away like that. I would expect a little bit of push on the upside before the drip, and I told you that push on the upside is what will leave this wick, which is what you're seeing here, right? So if I circle that wick, right, and then we go into the lower time frame, let's say even the 1 hour time frame, right, then you can clearly see that this is the wick, right? This is the wick you're seeing. This is the beginning of this wick, right? Just this wick pushing up, down, up, down, up, down like that, and then eventually it breaks on the downside. So that is what accounts for the wick. The wick you're seeing on the 1 hour, this is how it looks like. On the 2 hour time frame, this is how it looks like, and then on the 4 hour time frame, this is how it looks like. So the wick is basically that gathering here, right? That gathering which is here represents the wick you're seeing. So here, then when I switch back to the weekly time frame, you can see that it's a single wick in the market, right? Just as I explained to you guys. Which currency pair fucked you up? Somebody says the currency pair fucked them up. Yes, so just as you have it, anybody that got, who was here that was able to get in based on the analysis? Who was here? I told you guys that the best way to get in this move is to set a pending order just beneath 1900, right? And then that way the market will just smash through it, and then you'll be in the trade. But it's also dangerous because it could easily pull you back in, just like it did somewhere around here, right? It could easily draw you back in, pull you in a drawdown, scare you. You close a position, you take a loss, and then it plays out later, right? I said, like, yes, I told you guys the best way to get in on this move would be putting a pending order there. But I told you the downside about putting a pending order as well. So there you have it. This is a very interesting trade. I actually wanted to get in though, but I was just skeptical. You know, I've just been skeptical this week about trying to trade irrationally. All right, I'm just trying to like be patient with stuff now. Trading in such a way that the more you grow in this game, the more you become even extremely patient, right? The more you grow in this game, the more you realize that there is no rush for anything at all. Sometimes it's boring becoming so reluctant, and then sometimes it's also helpful becoming so reluctant. But it's like that with trading experience, right? You let things slide. Why do you let things slide? Because you know they'll come back around again, right? Unlike a beginner who thinks the moment they miss one move, that's it for the end of the world. They may never be able to make that kind of opportunity or money again. That's usually beginner's mentality. So they're always crying about missing moves and then complaining, I didn't cut this move and blah blah blah. I waited a whole, right? But once you outgrow that feelings, that mentality of thinking that once a trade is gone, you may never be able to get such an opportunity again. It also shows your maturity, right, in the market. I'm trying to read some of your comments. It also shows your maturity in the market. Once you get to that point where you don't panic about moves in the market, you see something, it's gone, you're like, okay, that's fine. Let me wait for the next leg, because there'll always be a next leg, right? There'll always be a next leg. There wouldn't always be one way in the market. Either the market is going to drop and make a huge retracement, or either the market is just, just like I'm saying, Euro, New Zealand dollar, you know where I caught it from, right? you know, where I caught it from, all the way from the top, rode that thing, hell out of it out to this point, and it quickly reversed, right? It quickly reversed. This was really unexpected, I'm not going to lie to you guys, but that sharp reversal is about how many pips? Barely about 70 pips already. I totally missed out on it, right? I totally missed it, but that's fine. Why is it fine? It's fine because we rode this huge move and then made insane gains already. So why should we panic about just missing this move when we know that we can obviously make it back, right? So yeah, now what I'm going to do is quickly run through this week. This week was dull from Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday you can see volatility setting in. Indeed, I suspected that volatility was set in on Wednesday based on the fact that I was seeing so much fundamentals in here, right? So I was wondering why was the market quiet on Monday. So I quickly scanned through Monday and I realized that okay, not much fundamental on Monday. Then I went back to Tuesday and like okay, not much fundamental coming in on Tuesday. Then I went back on Wednesday. Then I saw that we have huge news coming up: Aussie dollar, consumer price index, and then Bank of Canada rate statement, which is also huge. It's not even out yet though. The Canada rate statement is going to come at 2 p.m. But basically, I saw a lot of red folder events here on Wednesday, so I knew that volatility could potentially set in on Wednesday. Let's see about Thursday. Thursday, we also have important things coming out. Bank of Japan press conference. We have Euro financing rate, that's interest rate, right? Interest rate. So currently, interest rate for Euro is 0, right? European economy do not pay any interest rate. If you're saving in Euro, any of the European banks, you're not going to be getting anything. It means it's totally 0, right? Not even 1%, not even 0.5%. 0% financing rate. And then this rate is anticipated to go into negative, right? It means that even if you're saving money in any European bank, you'd rather be losing. You'd rather be losing, right? So that 0% was the first time that Druckenmiller and George Soros made that 2,000 pip trade that I showed you guys, right? That 0% I showed you guys some time ago. It's a weekly time frame trade, right? If we have time, I'll go back to that trade and show you guys. So yeah, so Euro has financing rate. Somebody says what made a huge dive today. Yes, gold made a huge dive. We're talking about that. We're talking about that gold dive. I'm just trying to also read quickly some of your comments. Somebody says they made a GJ. That's awesome. Yeah, so that's it with Thursday. Huge fundamental coming in on Thursday, and then on Friday, let's see what we have for Friday. Not much except for Canadian gross domestic product, which is monthly, so it may not really move the market that much, right? So back to Japanese yen. This is pound Japanese yen, right? It made a clear entry. It gave us a clear entry. That was last week thereabout, but it was a bit tricky here, right? More so, I didn't want us being over leveraged in the pound pairs because you realize that last week we were short in the pound dollar, which I still have a few running though from this point, right? I still have a few position on pound dollar running, right? So I know it takes immense patience to get to that point where you can be able to hold the trade and watch this retracement and watch it come down, watch up and down in all these 4-hour formations, right? That's how many days. We can easily calculate the number of days that it has taken this thing to drop. Let me see, where's the 2 for that? Yeah, date range. If I pick the date range, you can clearly see that it has taken us about 6 days already. It has taken us 6 days, right, from that point of entry to where it is currently. It has taken us 6 days. How many of us actually have that patience to hold a single position for 6 days? It takes a lot of experience, a lot of like psychology to build that, right? So that's just with it. 6 days for us to have that push on the downside. Yeah, so that is it with pound dollar. So pound dollar currently we're hitting on my trend line. Very important point for me now. But the way it smashed through this one, well, I'll have to see how it closes. We have 5 minutes for the next 4 hour to close, right? 5 minutes for the next 4 hours to close, and then we'll see how this thing reacts around these range, right? I'll be interested in seeing how the pound holds off here, right? Let's see if we're going to trade anything lower than this level. Most likely we may not be able to trade lower but from this level, and then we would easily resume that uptrend. But whatever it is that we want to do, I'll still be keeping my eyes in this range, and then we'll see if we have a long trade up. We tried getting in on a long though, right? But I asked everyone to get out of it because I just knew that it had some more potential on the downside. For anybody that still stayed in it, at least you would have made some 40-50 pips based on the fact that my entry point is usually very keen in the market, right? So you don't get a market easily reversing on me. Even if it's not going to make that initial move, it can make you intraday pips, which is like the 30-40 pips before it reverses on you. It's not really usual that the market would always just reverse abruptly on me like that, right? Even if it's not going to be making that huge move to where I anticipated, at least it would give us some 20, 30, 40 pips to protect ourselves in a market before it dips on us. So that is what pound dollar did this week. So yeah, I'll be keeping my eyes on this range. Pound Japanese yen, I've already explained to you. We broke that trend line. We started dripping, double top prime entry for me. I missed it because I didn't want to be over leveraging one currency pair, which is what we traded last week. So now I'll be keeping my eyes on this psychological level, 134.50, right? 134.50 could be a prime range for this thing to find some level of support, right? And we'll see if it's going to make a little bit of retracement. Overall, we can see that we are in a downtrend, right? Drip, consolidates, drip. So we could continue here, or if we break this down, if we break this psychological level, then next point of call will easily be this level here, which is just around the 133 area, right? 13300. So this is the outlook, right? So all I'm saying, if you're watching me or following the steps in what I'm saying, is I expect this thing to continue dripping to this point, or make a further dip onto the downside, possibly here, before we see any reversal on the upside. So you can clearly see that a lot of patience is required here, right? Once you come to understand that you have to make the market wait for you, you have to let the market come to you, right? With experience, you guys will come to realize that you always have to your technical analysis, your insight into the market has to be formed in a way that allows the market to come to you rather than just jumping into the move. Think about a scenario where you have a controlled environment, right? A controlled scenario in the sense that all the time when you're taking a decision, you anticipate, and that you're able to tell exactly what something should do before it does that thing, right? Imagine that anytime you're watching the market, you're saying, I want it to come here before it does this, I want it to come here before it does it. Then it means that you have some level of control over the market. Do you get it? It means that you have some level of control over the market, or you have an edge, a strong edge in the market, right? A strong edge in the sense that you don't let price action tell you what to do, right? You do according to what you anticipate price action to be, right? But most people would rather let price action tell them what to do, right? There's this nice saying that I thought about that I wanted to share with you. It quickly skipped me though, but the moment I remember that, I'm definitely going to share. Now it's 1 o'clock, and then most of the candles just closed, so we're going to see how they react, right? You can clearly see that it's exactly 1 a.m. GMT, and then this 4 hour just closed. This is the pound Japanese yen, a new 4 hour just opened, right? So I'm going to see how it keeps trading. Possibly this next 4 hour could push it down, right? And then it does what I'm anticipating before I decide to take a trade on it. The same for pound dollar. I see how it's going to react in that range. Let's see pound card. Pound card not doing much. There's nothing here interesting on pound card. Pound Swiss franc, also nothing interesting at the moment. It's been choppy. I'd rather focus on pound Japanese yen and then pound dollar, right? And leave pound card, pound Swiss franc. Euro pound is also been stuck in this range for a long time. The moment this thing trades out of this range, is going to be interesting. But I've already told you my projection for it. I told you that it's going to be consolidating up and down and up and down and up and down in this range, just like I told you, until eventually it gathers enough momentum to run up, possibly coming back into 9300, right? 09300, this level here. That would be an interesting level to see this thing coming into before we make maybe a move or a dip, a dip back down, right? So yeah, that is my insight for euro pound that I shared with you so many weeks ago. Nasdaq, right? I know South Africans here love to trade Nasdaq, right? I actually anticipated it rising up from here, but after a while it did a formation that actually changed my bias. That formation is not really something that is in books, is in textbooks, but myself and common Forex, who's my trading buddy, know exactly what we see when we see that kind of move. So let me see if I can easily show you guys what we were seeing, right? This kind of a formation here, when we see it on the market, what follows with it is a dip, right? You wouldn't understand, but yeah, it is what it is. What follows with this kind of formation is a dip. So yeah, once I saw that, then I knew that this thing wasn't going to trade upwards again. We're going to make a dip, and then indeed we made that dip. So yeah, we're back onto the trend line again, right? If you look at Nasdaq on the 4-hour, if I zoom out, you can see all the way from the very bottom, the trend line held, right? It's a huge trend line. So I'm just currently observing how the market reacts around that trend line and see. BMO says Hyacinth moon pattern. Indeed. This will be Hyacinth moon pattern, but it'll be close to that. You'll be some stubborn boy. Fucking boy. But yeah, that pattern, it looks like Hyacinth moon pattern, but it's not exactly that. This one has another name, right? I'm not going to share this name. If Common was here, I would have shared that name. But this one, we get your own name. This one is a secret name. We're not going to talk about it. It happened in this one as well. If you think I'm lying, this one is Nasdaq, right? This one is Nasdaq. Let's look at this Euro New Zealand. You're going to see the same formation in Euro New Zealand. It may not be clear in Euro New Zealand. I think Euro Aussie dollar. Yes. Euro Aussie dollar. Let me see. Let me change the time frame and see if it presents itself clear. 1 hour is not really clear. Let me see if 4 hours is clear or 6 hours is clear. It's all about the eye, right? If you don't have the eye, you never even know what I'm talking about. But if you have the eye for the formation, the moment you see it, I think one of the pairs, either Euro New Zealand or Euro Aussie dollar, was doing similar thing. So once you see that, you can know that we're about to have a dip, and then indeed we had that dip. So now I'll just be watching how we react around here to find to see if we're going to have like a long, right? So yeah, I'll be keeping my eyes closely in this range. I need to even draw a counter trend line, right? This is what we call a counter trend line, where I put a trend line across this range, right? It's countering the main trend line, right? So this is my main trend line, which is the resistance trend, the support trend line, and then I have a resistance trend line on the upside, and this one is a counter trend line. The counter trend line will help me to determine the higher highs and higher lows, and then see how market structure reacts. This is actually the last low here, right? So we could easily even dip into this, push up, consolidate, whatever we may want to do here, until the market actually takes out this last high. Then we'll be confident enough that this thing can start pushing up, right? So I'll be interested to see how we push a little bit down again, possibly into this range again, pull back up, right? And then we would manage to see if we can be able to find an entry quickly here before that push on the upside, right? And then if the market is able to actually take out this last high here, then we could anticipate this thing really rallying on the upside, right? It will be a very interesting setup, but it takes a little bit of patience to see this thing unfold this way, right? But that is my bias for it, right? So I'll be seeing how the market reacts on that counter trend line, right? People say plot twist, I'm a market maker. I wish I was. Let's see US30 been dripping. Actually wanted to see how it reacts around this psychological level 2700. We can see that I quickly smashed through it, so it has invalidated this level for me. There's no need for me to have this range here again. Now the next point of interest would be me seeing how it reacts here, which is this next low here, right? So you see how I trade. There's always confluence to confluence to confluence. Once psychological level is taken, I look at the next point of interest, which is this support level here. So I'll be interested to see how the market pushes a bit down, right? I think it will be in confluence with what we are looking at in Nasdaq. You know, Nasdaq and US30 have some level of direct correlation. So if this thing is pushing down a bit, then that would be the same time where I'm possibly expecting Nasdaq to also push a little bit down, right, before that push up. And then we could also see US30 also making a push up. So sometimes the market has a way of making the currency pairs speak the same language, right? So it's interesting to look at the market this way. DXY, I've seen how it will react on the third touch of the trend line, right? Somebody would say resistance trend line because it's been touching more than 3 times, right? It's been touching about 5 times already. If you look here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but I call it a third touch based on my rules. And then anybody that studied from me understand the rule that we look out for. Clearly, we can see that what we quickly broke through that. So since we've broken through that, where's my next point of interest? This resistance level. So I'm going to see how the market approaches here. Even though I'm expecting it to approach this level, I also have to be cautious that we have 78.6 retracements just around that area. So even though I may be expecting that we come exactly to the 100% retracement, the market could just decide to relax off on the 78.6 before dropping, which would be a perfect retracement. So we literally smashed to the 61.8, didn't do anything with it, so there's no point in keeping this here again. We don't need this 61.8. Now we know we are next on the 78.6. So people think Fibonacci is just a probability, don't know how to use it, blah blah blah. It doesn't, you know, they have a whole way of discrediting Fibonacci just because they don't know how to use it, right? Or they don't have a good basis or judgment for understanding how it works. So yeah, now that 61.8 literally got smashed, my next point of interest is 78.6. If it gets smashed, then I know that we've made a total reversal, and I'll see if we hold as a double top before a push down, or we're going to smash this and head towards this next psychological level of 94.50. So it's pretty easy, simple step to follow, right? That's for DXY. And then what DXY will do is to show us if we're going to have some strength still pushing up in the dollar. Clearly you can see that because DXY is pushing up, that's why we have euro dollar dripping, that's why we have GBPUSD dripping, that's why we have Aussie dollar dripping, that's why we have New Zealand dollar dripping, that's why we have USD Swiss franc pushing up. Let's see USDJPY. USDJPY is pushing down even though dollar is strong. Why? Because Japanese yen is extremely strong as well. So it has basically overpowered the strength coming in for the dollar across board. Because cross-referencing the Japanese yen pairs too, you can see that Euro JPY is dripping, Aussie dollar JPY is also dripping, GBP JPY is also dripping. So you can clearly see that what cross-referencing wise, Japanese yen is as strong as the dollar, right? If you also even watch a confluence between the currency strength meter that sometimes I just take a sneak peek at, you can see that Japanese yen is at the very top and then US dollar is next to it. So obviously you can see that what the Japanese yen isn't going to give the US dollar any chance to push against it, right? And then you see Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar pushing up because the DXY has been pushing up. So it will be clearly interesting to see how DXY reacts in the 78.6, or whether it's going to push up, to see if we're going to catch a reversal in most of these currency pairs. Oil has been interesting. After I missed that manipulative move that I showed you guys here, it has continuously been making a big push down. It pulls back a bit, pushes down, pulls back a bit, pushes down. Hasn't given me any kind of nice entry for joining this trend. So I'll be interested in seeing how we react around this range or if we're going to break out of this range. So for now, I'm just keeping a close eye on oil. Very clear, clean charts with the exact definition of what I want to see before I take an action on it. Right? Who says a good question? Where's a good question? Kojo, how the election will affect the market? That's a different thing altogether, right? If we want to talk about the election and its effect on what is going to happen on the market, there's a different outlook. But I'll talk about that later. Now, this is gold. I explained gold already, so I don't think I have anything more to share with gold, right? Now, you can see that gold is beginning to lose a little bit of momentum. Why? Because it's approached this previous support level here, right? So you can see that when the new candle came, it started pushing out with a wick. So what will happen is that rather than drip all the way to 1850, this thing could actually even start rising from this 1880 area, just because here may decide to hold strong back. Once here doesn't hold and then we break from this level, then you can clearly expect gold to come to 1850. So sometimes it's always prudent to watch the left side of your chart and see what is happening. Anytime the market is topping, relatively, you want to see what is happening at the left side of the chart. Maybe it's reacting on some previous resistance, previous support level. Then you can make some sense out of it and see how things unfold, right? So I'll be looking at gold from that level as well. Once this level get taken out, then I'll be looking at this level, right? Euro, Aussie dollar, I've explained already, right? I didn't really expect this thing just pushing up, but I don't know, one way or the other. I think because of the fundamental that came in, it strengthened this thing, and then this thing is just pushing up. But it hasn't given me any entry criteria, so I'll let it slide. The same for Euro New Zealand dollar, but it will be interesting to see Euro New Zealand dollar push down before a push up. Then that way it will be interesting, or we'll be lucky enough to get a trade to push this thing up, right? If it doesn't do that, then I don't know, we'll just let it slide. Here, Euro card, nothing much on it, but we can see sort of a head and shoulder pattern. Not a usual pattern that I trade, but once I see them, I keep a close eye on them. So I'll be seeing how I react here. Once we come here, it will also be in confluence with, I think, between the 61.8 and the 78.6 retracement. Once we make a rejection there, it will be interesting to find a good trade within this range. So yeah, clearly, like I told you, here is going to be between what, the 61.8, 78.6 retracement region, and then it would be a good point of call for a trade, right? So I'll be watching this range to see how Euro card reacts here, and if we can be able to catch a trade for a short down. Euro dollar, drip, because the DXY is so strong. So Euro dollar would predominantly go on a halt if DXY also go on a halt. So I'll be watching them concurrently. Once I switch on Euro dollar, then I'll quickly switch on the XY as well, and then be playing in between them to see how they play out, right? But if this thing should keep trading down, then here will be a very interesting range to see how we react here before we push up or something, right? Here will be interesting to see how we react here before we push up. Other than that, we could clearly also try and pull a fib on it and see what kind of fib level is being reacted around. We can clearly see that if we pull a fib on this, then we are reacting around the 78.6. So it will be interesting to also see what the 78.6 does around this region. Clearly, we can see that the trend line didn't hold, right? It smashed through my trend line. It disrespected my trend line. It totally disrespected my trend line. So yeah, I'm going to keep my eyes here. Either we make a formation here, or we continue continue trading all the way into this range, and then it will be interesting to see what we do. But it will be interesting. It will be also wise to look at the overall direction, right? You can see that for Euro dollar, right, we're in a huge uptrend all the way from here, right? After this massive corona spike or whatever it is, right? We started trading upward, right? We did a reaccumulation here, traded up here. Everybody thought this is Wyckoff schematic. The market is going to distribute and then trade and break the trend line and start dripping, and then market switched up on everybody, started going sideways, and now we can start seeing it dripping. So, well, it'll be interesting to determine if market structure wise we are in a downtrend or not. But here is also a prime region for us to determine that, right? Once here gets taken out, then somewhat we can be confident to say that the bulls have lost momentum, the bears are gaining so much strength, and then now we can be always looking for predominantly short moves on the Euro USD rather than looking for longs, right? You always have to ride with the trend. If you ride with the trend, you make a lot of money than catching retracement. But the point is, can you be able to determine which one is a retracement and which one is the right trend? It all has to do with you being able to understand market structure. If you don't understand market structure, you wouldn't even know if we're in an uptrend or we're in a downtrend, and then any move at all will look sumptuous to you. But I tell you what, if you catch the trade in the direction of the trend, you make more money, and then you ride the trend easily, because a characteristic of a retracement is usually a move sideways, right? Retracement. If the market, I wish I could have something to draw for you. Let me see if I have this drawing tool here. Retracement has characteristics of moving sideways. Let's say the market moves up like this, right? It doesn't retrace straight like that, right? Let me show you how it retraces. It moves up like this with a huge momentum. It could retrace with a little bit of candle down, up, down, up, down, up, down, like that, right? So retracement is very tedious to trade, and then when the trend resumes, it pushes up again with huge volume, right, or huge momentum. So it's easy to jump in on the main trend than the retracement. Look at the pound dollar trade, right? This was clearly a retracement we're catching, right? You can see that because the predominant direction of the market was bullish, it was pretty easy for this thing to just rise up with this 1, 2, 3 candle. It was here, right? But see how many candles it took it to come down, right? About God knows how many, right? I can calculate that. How many candles? About 26 bars. When it literally took 1, 2, 3, 4 bars to push up, then it took 26 bars to come down, right? That is a little characteristics of retracement. So yeah, which one were we talking about? Pound Japanese yen. See how it also reacts here, right? Coming onto this level, so you can see that the market is providing us with interesting opportunities coming in the coming days. It could be tomorrow, it could be Friday, who knows? It could carry it forward to Monday. Somebody is talking about GBP NZD, GBP AUD. Who's going to tell the person about those pairs when it comes to me? Who's going to tell the person? I see the person posting it several times, but somebody should tell the person about my history with GBP NZD and then GBP GBP AUD. Yeah, so I'm going to be keeping my eyes on these level, right, to see how we react. Very interesting setup coming in this week, right? Very, very interesting setup coming in. If we hold here, we could have a nice long trade. If we break it, then I'll be watching the left side of the chart to see where we could next hold off as a support for this thing to rise up. Other than that, then I would avoid it. So let's look at Aussie dollar Japanese yen. I was watching this level to see how Aussie dollar Japanese yen reacts, but we can see that it totally broke that level. There is no support level there for it again. So clearly the next best point for this thing to trade into would be 72.50, right? For those of you who like day trading and catching continuous move, this is the right setup for you to catch continuous move on Aussie dollar Japanese yen to 72.50, right? You could jump in on this trade if you so wish, and you would have to determine your own stop loss level, but my take profit for you would be 72.50, and that is about 110 pips if you so wish. But I'm not interested in taking this trade based on my entry criteria. But yeah, I don't see any support level anywhere here rather than 72.50, so it'll be interesting to see how we push down towards 72.50. Let me switch this thing to the 12-hour and see if we have enough momentum for that. Yes, we can see enough momentum for that. If I switch on to the daily, yes, we can see enough momentum for that. If I switch on to the weekly, yes, we have enough momentum to push this thing to 72.50, right? You can see that we were a huge bullish move, and now we're trying to resume this bearish move here. So yeah, weekly, no wick on the downside because momentum is filling this thing up, right? Can you see that after I close it's still there? So that is it for Aussie dollar Japanese yen, but that is it if you want to trade it, but I am not trading it. Aussie dollar USD, a trade I missed my entry on. You can see this range. This range was a very interesting range for me. I kept my eyes on it closely to find a trade before I realized, boom, this thing just left me like that, right? Sometimes you can lose focus and then you lose a move, but that is the cost we have to pay for being traders, right? If you're not always stuck by your desk at the right time, you miss important moves. So I literally just moved this. There's nothing I can do about it. What can I do? Just wait for the next leg, right? So yeah, just watch this thing trade. Let's see how I react on the trend line, but I don't expect this to hold on the trend line. Interesting place. I would expect it to hold this last support level here, right, which also is in range with this previous one here. So here would be interesting to watch. If we break this level, then we could head towards 69.50 and then so on and so forth, right? Yeah. Aussie dollar card, not doing much. New Zealand Japanese yen, the same as Aussie dollar Japanese yen. Broke structure, so we're dripping down. New Zealand Japanese yen also just coming close to that structure. So it'll be interesting to see if we're able to gather enough momentum to also break structure, just like its counterpart Aussie dollar Japanese yen did. So they call them the antipodian dollars. Antipodian because they are sort of I don't want to call them fake dollars, but they have a good relation in the way they both relate or react or trade, right? Strong correlation between Aussie dollar and then New Zealand dollar. That's why when I'm going long on Euro AUD, I'll be going long on Euro New Zealand. When I'm going short on New Zealand Japanese yen, I'll be going short on Aussie dollar Japanese yen, right? It's what we call cross-referencing and correlation. So that is it with New Zealand Japanese yen. Let's see New Zealand card. New Zealand card prime entry, but as you know, price action is a little bit tricky here, and generally card is playing a fool at the moment, because if you look at GBP card, GBP is weak because pound dollar is dripping, pound Japanese yen is dripping, but pound card is not doing anything. What does it mean? It's rather even going up. It means that Canadian dollar has something coming up for it, right? This is how you have to think as a trader. So once you know that this thing, everyone is dropping, this one is also dropping, but Canadian dollar is not dropping, then what you do, you quickly go and watch the fundamentals. And then when you go and watch the fundamentals, what do you see? You see that on Wednesday, which is 2 p.m., Canadian dollar has interest rate statement. So we can clearly see that this is why Canadian dollar doesn't want to move, because it is waiting for volatility to come in from the interest rate announcement. And that is why New Zealand card is not dropping, even though New Zealand Japanese yen is dropping, and then New Zealand US dollar is dropping, right? I think this is the best way I've been able to explain fundamental analysis to you guys with reference to the chart, right? With reference to the chart. So yeah, just take that as a clue and act on it. So 2 p.m. it'll be interesting to see how we react. Hopefully I come back on live so that we watch how the market reacts live on it. If I don't do that, then we'll just do what? We'll just observe it individually on our PCs. This is USD Swiss franc. Been pushing up and up and up like that, just like I showed you guys. We can put a trend line on this and see if we can have some clear picture of it, right? If we put a trend line on this, a little bit of break on the upside, then we put a trend line criteria here. It'll be interesting to also see what we do once I can also be able to plot fib on this level and see how we react around SC 1.8. But it will also be interesting to see. So now I can take all this thing off. It'll be also interesting to see how the DXY act. right? So US30, USDCHF and then DXY, they are like twins, right? You may easily not see difference between them. This is DXY, this is the USDCHF. They move like similarly. When DXY is dripping, USDCHF will also be dripping, and then when DXY is pushing up, USDCHF will also be pushing up, and it has inverse relationship with Euro USD, right? So when DXY is when Euro USD is dripping, DXY will be pushing up, and then when it is pushing down, vice versa, right? USD CAD, just like I explained, CAD also has an inverse relationship sort of with oil. So when oil is dropping, then CAD will be weak. So you can clearly see that this one can account for the reason, also part of the reason why Canadian dollar isn't doing much, right? So when oil is dropping, right, you see CAD not doing much. So aside the fact that USD is generally strong, CAD weakness is also accounting for this thing pushing up, right? So I can't really have any setup on USD CAD at the moment, except for the fact that we're watching at key levels, previous support, previous resistance, to see how it reacts there. Then I recently added CAD Japanese yen and CAD Swiss franc Japanese yen. So CAD Japanese yen, yeah, we're coming to a very important level. Let's see how it reacts here. If we break this level, then it'll be interesting, because there isn't much of support except for this point, and then another point down there, right? So it'll be interesting to see how we play around here. And finally, pound, Swiss franc Japanese yen also coming to the third touch of the trend line. We're going to see how we play around here to quickly see if we can have an entry to jump before a long here, right? Yes, so clearly you can see that I've had a very busy week with all that I've been saying. Somebody says I should save the video. Now think about it. We've had a long week, a dull week from Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday we can see huge volatility coming in, right? Huge volatility coming in on the market, and that is clearly my outlook for you guys. If you took notes, you can go on your chart and mark it up and see. So I see a lot of people saying I should save the video. Then I'll do that. Once you all are requesting me to save the video, I'm gonna do that for you guys, right? I'll have to be extremely active here, because I've not really had any trade this week, right, except for the ones that I was riding from last week. So it is time for me to exert some sniper skills and catch the market off guard as well, right? Let them have unsuspecting eye before they realize I'm already in the move. I missed like these prime trades. I totally did miss them. It's not my fault though, but it is what it is. You don't get to always be perfect. Somebody says show us the sniper entry. Yeah, I'm gonna save for you guys. I'm gonna save the live video for you guys. Somebody says I should post on YouTube. I'm waiting for my camera. I told you guys, Sony A6400, very good camera. Once it comes, I'm gonna put more and more content. More and more content on YouTube, right? You guys are amazing. Thanks for joining. What, you said I should live trade? You know, my style of trading wouldn't even make live trading interesting, because what? Because my entry points are weird, right? My entry point. Live trader card news. I don't do news trading. If I did news trading, I would have done that. Gone are the days when I used to do that pending order trading of news, right? You put buy pending order, sell pending order, and then you put a stop loss both at the entry points. It spikes up, you make some money. It spikes down, you make some money. If it does a double spike, then you just lose the difference between your entry points and then where you set the pending order, right? If you go what I said, you'd understand how I used to trade, and that's how most people used to trade. These days it faded away. That style has faded away. But like in the year 2017, 2018, God, that was like the move. That was the move on the market. Everybody that thought they had some skills in the market will be doing that, right? These days it's just literally gone, right? I don't see anybody doing that anymore. It's been a long time I saw anybody trying to be tricky on the market where they put pending on that. Who did that? Whoever did that, right? If you're here and you did that, it means that you're an OG in the market. You know what you're about, right? So like card news is coming like this, right? Let me show you guys what would have done. And usually it was best to do that in the lower time frame, which is usually the 5 minute or 1 minute time frame. So 5 minute time frame like this, right? What we'll do is we'll put a pending order, which is like a buy stop here with the stop loss on the entry points. So let me do the stop loss red, and then we put a sell stop here. A sell stop is also moved with a stop loss at the same entry point. So now we trap the market in between. So what happens is that when the fundamental comes and then it's a huge bullish move, boom, then this thing will spike, trigger a buy stop, and then put us into profit. And then when it spikes on the downside, boom, it trigger our sell stop and put us into profit. But when the market makers decide to fool with us and then double spike like they do, then it will do what? Go down, take us out, go up, take us out, come back down. Like all we're going to lose is just the difference between our buy stop and the stop loss, and then the sell stop and the stop loss. That was a very good way we used to make quick money, right? I used to make huge money from this move. Quickly, then I'll make $2,000 quickly within 1 minute. That is what FBK used to do. These days, I think he stopped doing that because the volatility has stopped on the market. So this is what we are saying, that no matter your strategy, the market can outlive you, or the market can outgrow your strategy, right? The market can outgrow your strategy. So these days, it doesn't do that anymore. I don't know how he traces it, but this was the way. This is the way things used to go those days, right? In 2017, 2018, and even early part of 2019, this was the way things used to go. And you can see that it's very simple, straightforward, easy, and then yeah, you can make a lot of money. What time is it? 1:33. I don't think I can stay here till 2. Other than that, I would have seen how this market will react. But if I'm able to stay here till 2, or even if I decide to come back maybe a few minutes before 2, I'd announce it on the group and then just go on live as well. And then we just playfully see how this thing reacts, right? I can show you a way, but even if I show you guys a way to trade this, and I'm not going to trade it live on my account, right? But there's a simple way that I used to trade this. Rather than use pending on this, I'd wait for the market to spike in one direction and I'll trade it back down, right? Even if I'll do it, I'll just set up a demo account and do that. There's no way I'm going to take this on my real account, because it's been a long fucking time I did that kind of a thing, right? You know what I mean? I wait for the market to spike up and I take the position back down, right? So when it's like, let's say 5 or 10 minutes to time, I could decide to come back on live and they will do that, right? 26 minutes more, yeah, 26 minutes more for us to have the card news, right? How many of you want to see me do that? How many of you want to see me? How many of you want to see me trade the card news that way that I'm talking about? If I switch to the 1 minute time frame, let me see. That would be a little bit sharp. It's actually a 1 minute time frame, right? Yeah, clearly this is a 1 minute time frame. You can see what I said, right? So buy stop pending order, sell stop pending order. Then we're waiting. The market is trading in between. It spikes out, boom, it triggers our buy order, we make money, we close it. It spikes down, boom, it triggers our sell order, we make money. But the downside about it is that sometimes you can set your pending order, but the news has, let's say, 1 minute to come out, and then the market has started already moving. The news is not out yet, but you're afraid that it could easily trigger your order before the news comes out. So what you'll be doing is that you keep adjusting your stop order, right? Once it's coming down like that, then you have to quickly drag your stop order down, coming down like that. You drag your stop order down, drag your stop order down, drag your stop order down, so that the candle doesn't touch your stop order before the major event comes out. So it was a very interesting period. But I mean, Charlie, we live and we grow and we learn, right? So we've outlearned all those moves, right? These days, when I see anybody doing that, and I know that you'd mature, right? You'd mature in the game these days. If I see anybody doing that, then I know that it will take you some time to also mature. But who is here that does that? Who is here that thinks it's their secret trading strategy that I just revealed? Because I know that this is some people's trading strategy. They would literally charge people huge amount of money to teach them this trick, right? Who does that? Who is here that still does that? Did I reveal somebody's strategy for free? Did I reveal somebody's trading strategy for free? The people that have been really making noise: fundamental people, Lord, I'm the fundamental God, from a fundamental guru, I know where the market is going, blah blah blah. This is their secret. I just revealed it for free, right? I just revealed all their strategy for free. Yes, it's only for news. It's only for news. You can't do this anyway. Somebody says it's their secret fundamental strategy. I just revealed people's strategy for free. Listen, because the news is coming, then it's become so. You see, the downside about it is that if a penny order was there, it's 137, but it already triggered. 137, then it already triggered. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do, my brother? That's how it happens, though. So now you have to quickly adjust it again. You know, it's not even 2 o'clock and this thing is starting to move upside down like that, right? Somebody says, did that once for NFP, it blew me out. It will blow you out. It definitely would blow you out. I think we have barely 20 minutes for that. I think I'll hang around here till we have the fundamentals. Then I'll see if I can be able to trade that with you guys. Let me see. Euro card or Aussie dollar card or whatever it is. This one I'd rather choose based on my analysis, which one would be best to choose to trade. Is it pound card? Is it euro card? Is it New Zealand card? Look at how this thing is pushing up, right, on a 1 minute time frame, dude. So literally your buy criteria for this got smashed. Now you have to quickly readjust, and now you have to now come and set the pending order again. Take this one here, set the stop loss there, and then drag the sell order here, right? And then this thing is still pushing up, right? We used to stress, so I'm not gonna lie to you, but that is the only way we knew to survive, right? That is the only way we knew to survive. So you have to do it, right? It takes quickly. You have to readjust, close the orders, reposition them again, and then wait, right? Kojo, do you trade NFP live? No, bro. The way I trade, I don't trade all those reactive moves where everybody's quickly jumping in there on the reaction like the way we're seeing here. I trade in a very relaxed environment, right? I trade in a very relaxed scenario. And then you can get that relaxed scenario in the 4-hour time frame. Once I switch onto the 4-hour, all those quick blips you're seeing, you don't even get to see them again, right? Do you get to see them? No, you don't get to see them. That way, the market gives me a clear directional movement. I jump in, I set my stop loss, I go to sleep, and let the market do the rest of the hard work. Rather than be stuck on this 5 minutes, 1 minute, hell of a shit, and then stress my life out. I stopped stressing years ago, bro. I stopped stressing on the market years ago. Rather than just be stuck on here and then be wanting to find the next 1 minute movement, catch that 20 pips, catch that 15 pips. Where is it? Like here to here is what? 5 pips, right? Somebody will be so happy that they caught this 5 pip. Yo, I've got 5 pip move, buy. But you're risking markets just taking you out within a second. Let the market suffer to take your money. Right? You gotta let the market suffer to take your money. Right? You gotta let the market suffer. Imagine taking a trade and then 5 minutes you lose your money. how painful would that be, right? At least if you didn't even stay in the trade for was it 1 hour? You take a trade 1 minute, then your money is gone. You take a trade 5 minutes, then your money is gone. You take a trade 3 minutes, then your money is gone. what kind of a stupid decision is that, right? Let the market suffer a bit, like maybe 1 hour playing with you up and down. That way you have all the decision in the world. Your mental process is working well enough to tell you if you want to run out of the trade or if you want to stay in, right? There's so many ways where I've run out of trades, right? I run out of trades all the time because I have the ample time to do that. Here, how can you run out of trade? Before you run, the market has chased you and then bitten your ass off already, right? The moment you try to close the trade quickly, you want to close the trade, right? It will bite you and then take the hell out of money from your account before you make any decision, right? But me, if I'm looking at the high time frame, it plays a fool, then I quickly say, guys, I want to close this trade. I don't feel safe about it anymore. Somebody says I should add Joe Trader to the live. Where is Joe? Where is Joe though? Somebody should call Joe Trader for me. Let me see if I can add him to this live. If you want me to add Joe, then you guys have to hold on for a while. Hang on. Let me hit him up on. Yeah, so I just hit him up. I'm waiting to see if he's gonna join, right? Let's see if Joe Trader quickly joins us. Yo. So what time is it? 1:43. It's 1:43 now. GBP card. The card pairs are acting so insane right now. Where is Joe? I'm waiting for Joe to join though. He joins soon. Let's see which one again. What's the dollar card? I'll be waiting here to see how the card reacts, and I'll tell you if we're going to trade it or not. But that would be a risk trade though, right? If you're not ready to take that risk, don't do it. Don't do what I'll be saying. If you're not ready to take that risk, don't do it. Don't do it. If you're ready to take the risk, you can do it though. NZDCHF, I don't trade that. Salim, I gotta leave you guys and see what's gonna come in the next 4, 8, 12 hours. I've shown you guys my bias and my perspective on all the trade setups. GBPJPY, GBPUSD, basically everything. I've shown you guys my perspective. So I gotta leave you guys. Let's see if we're able to make some moves today, tomorrow, before Friday, and make some few bucks before the weekends. Right? Somebody says I should save the live. Dazzling Didi. Dazzling, this is like the first time I'm seeing you on my live. KBK. BK, is it a DK? Hey, DKB or what? See, I should save the live. Okay, I'll save it. Do you use candlestick pattern to enter a trade? Yes, I use candlestick pattern to enter a trade.
Kindly talk about the sniper webinar coming. Who wants me to talk about sniper webinar? If you want me to talk about sniper webinar, let me see some hands up and I'll quickly go into it. Car JPY is dripping. Let's see car JPY. Yeah, that's it. This is car JPY. It's dripping, but it's just approaching my level, which I foresee it reversing. I foresee the car JPY reversing here. What else? What else? What else? Okay, I see a lot of people want me to talk about the upcoming sniper entry. I said I was going to add one interesting thing, which I haven't added before. Yo, do you guys know that I'm in small profit? This is a quick scalp here, right? $120. It's not bad. I told you guys to sell GBP card. If you didn't sell it, I did, bro. I'm going to close this profit. I mean, I don't need much. I don't need much. Yep. And let me look at this one, this account as well. This is pound. This is a pound account. 80 pound or what? It will be nothing. I go pick them like that. It's a scalp trade. Every money counts. Every little drop of ocean adds up. Literally made this. I literally made $120 in what amount of seconds or minutes? Still 15 minutes. Anyway, back into $100. That $100. Who wants me to do a giveaway? I go fit do giveaway. Give you people. I go fit take the $100 do giveaway on this live session. I just convert it into cedis. $100 is $120 in cedis, about almost 600 for 700 Ghana cedis. Drop your Momo. I'll take a screenshot and do random giveaway. Drop your Momo. I'll share that $100 for 5 people. First come, first serve. I'll be taking the numbers right now. Drop your mobile money. I'll send it. I'll take a screenshot from here. Or if you can drop your Momo here, just DM me your Momo. If you DM me your number or something. My mind day for you. My mind day for the Ghana people. Oh, people are dropping it here already. Okay, I'm taking some screenshot. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. You catch. If you make late, that'll be your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got the 5 people already. I'll send them the Momo. 1, 2. The number catch you. Why are people still sending their numbers, Charlie? The number catch you guys. The number catch 1, 2, 3. You guys are even making me confused now. I can't even see the right ones. That'll be all. I think that's all. I got 5 people. Yeah, so I'll credit everybody that dropped their Momo with the $100 I just made, right? Yeah, so back to the sniper thing, right? I want to show you guys something. Sometimes when I want to show it, and sometimes something is telling me not to because it's too deep, right? Because it's too deep. It's too deep of an information for public consumption like that. It's part of my edge, you know. When I do that, I may lose some power. When I do that, I may lose some power. It's okay. Look, I'm not going to talk about it. I'll talk about it another time. Thanks for joining this live. I'll save it for everybody, right? Those that want to watch it again, I'll save it for you. But next time, maybe when I'm motivated, I'll talk about it. But like, I can just chip on something here. I can just chip on something. Let me see. Let me use this print screen thing to do it, right? Look, if you guys are watching the chat, right? This is 0 USD, right? This is Euro USD. This is the beginning of like some week ago, and in that week it pulled back down, it continued up. So here would have been Monday, Tuesday, it dripped on Wednesday, and then traded back up on Friday. So the next week, then it started to drip all the way down. So that would have been you holding the trade from Monday to Friday, right? And then you can see that Monday to Friday it closed here. Then the previous week again, the market began to rise all the way up to this point, right? Let's calculate the pips in all I'm showing. And then in the midweek, it reversed down, pulled back again, and then this week you can clearly see what a massive push down, right? I'm giving you guys a clue here. The clue I'm leaving to you is that the market, aside the fact that I'm doing my technical analysis from this point, right? Technical analysis, watching the key levels, key ranges, support level, resistance level, psychological level, Fibonacci level, candlestick reversal, psychological level, whatever it is that I'm watching here, I don't watch the same thing here. What I watch here is totally different. This is the real MT4 chart. Totally different, right, from what I do here, right? And then this one accounts for how long I'll hold a trade, right? Depending on how long I hold a trade, it has to do with the weekly range in which the market is moving, right? If the market is starting an inception of a weekly move, then it's prime for me to hold that trade throughout the week, right? Let's look at a trade like Euro New Zealand that I held, right? Look at it. It was a weekly trade, right? If you look at this was Monday when the move set up, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday about, then it hit the peak and it started reversing. So obviously I couldn't get out of this move. We were expecting it. So obviously it would be prime to hold this trade from Thursday, Friday, and then it closed here. It should have been how much in pips? About 300 pips already, right? So just about Friday there, about when I'm about to close, it started making a little bit of bullish push, but I knew that it was just a fake out to catch a lot of people jumping into this trade. And then you can see what Monday, continuation of the move, Tuesday, Wednesday, we dipped, and then today being Wednesday, another reversal has begun, right? This is just a skeleton that I'm throwing around it, but there is more to it, right? But these are just some of the things that I'll be showing people in a sniper. So if I quickly look through this week, the prime trade setup will have been AUDJPY, right? Continuation from last week. Another trade will have been AUDUSD, right? Consolidation, breakout on the midday. And then if you look at AUD card, not much, right? Except for the fact that it did this midweek reversal here. That's why we had the trade on AUD card. And nobody understood why I had the trade. That was what the trade I sent out, and I was asking you guys that no Fibonacci, no support level, no resistance, no mitigation, but I still had a trade on it. It's part of the unique things that I can only see on the market, right? It's not really something that is out there on YouTube or anything, right? Unless I clearly teach you. This one is also a midweek range, right? Beginning of the week, consolidate, Monday, Tuesday thereabout, start to set its move, right? Gives us a perfect reversal formations, and then it drips from there, making about 884 pips, right? So this is just a pure price action movement in confluence with what I'll be doing here with respect to my technical analysis, right? So I watch here, then I watch here. I watch here, then I watch here. That accounts for me having two screens. So my two screens is not just for flags or just because every trader has to have two screen setups. It's because they actually have good use here, right? But that's just a light out through. But I'll touch more on it for anybody that jumps in on the course. It's going to be an eye opener. It's going to change your life, and then yeah, it is what it is. Let me end this live session here, and we'll catch up along the line, right? I'm sweating already. No, it's not so bad, but I'm sweating. So I hope you gain some value in this, and then you're able to like backtest and then be innovative around what I showed you, right? So the market is all about being innovative, right? Patient, consistent. Don't forget the Momo. Yo, I won't forget the Momo. Thanks for reminding me. How long is the webinar? The webinar is going to be 2 hours per session, but usually it takes me 3 hours per session, and it's going to be for 3 days, right? So it says take some break. Yeah, I'll take some break. I'll take some break though. Which challenge? Yeah, the challenge. Common Forex is going to choose one person. Definitely going to choose one person. I'll make sure he announces that this evening, right? Common is going to announce that this evening, and then that person will be added quickly to the group because we are likely to start the session Friday morning or evening, one of it. But I'm thinking about morning, and then we continue the rest. Was it Saturday evening and Sunday evening? Right, but I believe whatever I taught here, you guys learned something. Right, sometimes I come to try and throw some light on some few things, but I end up going so deep. But yeah, it is what it is. That's just what I do, share information for you guys. And then I can clearly see that it has changed a lot of you, your style of trading, your perspective about market. And I see people like BMO catching some killer sniper trees. Right, he sent me a screenshot quite recently. Right. That's a badass motherfucker who's always watching my live sessions and learning, and he doesn't want to pay for shit. But he's in the VIP though. So that's a badass motherfucking nigga. Anyway, if you keep up with watching my live sessions, you gain more and more and more free knowledge than you would even pay for anything, right? If you keep up with watching my live sessions still. Yeah, that guy is a motherfucker. He doesn't want to pay for shit. He's always watching my live and then learning from it. Then he'll be sending me screenshot. Yo, bro, I just did this. I just did that. Look at my sniper entry. But it's all good, bro. It's all good. You know, I'm always open. Once you send me your entry, I'm keen to watch it and appreciate you. And then if you have analysis you've done and then you want to get my bias about it, you tell me, I'll tell you my opinion. If it's good enough, I'll tell you. If I don't see the same thing, I'll also tell you. Trading is all about opinions. Nobody is a god over the market. I cannot identify myself as a god over the market, right? We all are doing speculation. You could be right, you could be wrong. On a single trade, somebody can be buying at the same time, somebody can be selling. So it tells you the world we are in as traders, right? It tells you the world we are in as traders. Anyway, I think that's it. I mean, I've talked enough. I'm already exhausted here. Sometimes when I come on live and I'm leaving you guys, I don't want to leave, you know, because you guys are so fun. I'm not going to lie to you. I really enjoyed coming on live, having a good chat with all of you, catching up. This whole week, it's been a while I came on live, though, right? I think it's been a while. So when I come on live and I'm exiting like that, then it's all emotional. I'm kidding. Somebody posted something. It was like, you're dating a Forex trader and then you're saying he doesn't have emotions. The market has taken all his emotions. Sister, you are another currency pair to him. Add your name, GBP what? So if your name is Akosia, you say GBP Akosia or NZD Ama. No motherfucking emotions. It's me though, right? Me, I have no emotions. But I have a little bit of emotions for my woman though, right? I reserve that little bit of emotions. But aside that, then no fucking emotions at all. Right. No, you can't be emotional. You guys want us to talk about trading psychology. Trading psychology is a stupid topic that when I talk about here, it'll blow your mind. I've never talked about trading. Who's been with me for a long time? You guys can realize that I've never talked about trading psychology, right? Yes, GBP Akusia Yabua, indeed. So you don't come and stress me. I see you just as another currency pair. GBP, yeah, GBP or what? Card what? Card Jennifer. That rhymes though. Card JPY, card Jennifer. Yeah. Let's talk about trading psychology for a minute. Let's talk about trading psychology, right? Finding the entry doing the analysis, learning the skill set is one thing. Holding the trade, managing the trade, knowing when to exit, knowing when to take profit is another thing on its own, right? And it takes a hell amount of information, knowledge to be able to like do what I do, right? And it's not really even that deep. If you watch what I do, some people think it's so deep, it's so crazy. Kojo, how you able to hold trades? You know why I'm laughing? Common Forex has access to my Instagram though. If you guys don't know, I'm telling you. So any message that you send, he sees it. I personally gave him access to it. His messaging me is like, yo, why is everybody sending their WhatsApp numbers so in your DM? He doesn't know what is going on. You know, he doesn't know that people are asked that I'm going to do a freebie for Momo. So people are just sending their numbers. He just WhatsApp like, what are people sending? So he doesn't know what is going on. I think I'll tell him after the live session. See you, why people send them my numbers like that? Yeah, so let's come back to the psychology. So the psychology, I said, is a very simple thing, right? But it has everything to do with your entry point, right? If you get the entry right, then you can do that. If you miss out on the entry, then it won't work that way, right? I'm going to use the Euro New Zealand dollar as an example, right? So if you watch this Euro New Zealand dollar, what did we do? We had a short entry just around here. And then our stop loss was a little bit above this wick, so somewhere around here. And then indeed our anticipated target, oh, sorry about that. Our anticipated target was here, right? So think about this scenario. This is how the market will look like. This is how the market will look like initially when we take the setup, right? This is how the market will look like. And then once the market is like this, and then we have our entry there, stop loss, everything, right? So we're now going to see how things unfold, is it? So first step, we watch this trade, boom, it dips into small profit. Then you have to calculate how much profit it is. That is about what? 27, almost 33 pips, right? So we are in 33 pips in profit. Now think about this. A scalper would be so happy with 33 pips. A day trader would be so happy with the 33 pips. A swing trader, you're watching bigger portion of the move. So why would you be too excited about 33 pips? That actually is the point in which you need to put your stop loss to break even. So the point that is the maximum take profit for scalpers and day traders is the point of what? Maximum protection of a trade for swing traders. So quickly, I move my stop loss to break even. Once my stop loss is at break even, I close my mind on this trade. This is Euro New Zealand dollar. So once I close my mind on this trade, what does it mean? It means that if this trade should reverse back and take me out, what did it just do? It just took me out at break even. I don't lose money. Then I'll come to watch again and see if we're going to have what? That kind of entry I've been talking about for a next leg down. But that will be what? A matter for another day. But if it doesn't happen that way, then it means that I'm expecting what? A continuous drip. So this is first 4 hour, I stay in. Second 4 hour, I stay in. Still, it hasn't got to my entry point because I've protected my entry at the very edge. Third 4 hour, big drip. Fourth 4 hour, another big drip. Fifth 4 hour, pulls back a bit, pushes down a little bit, big drip, trend resumes, another big drip, TP smashed. I literally did no work. All right. But what did I do? I allowed the market to do the hard work. Can you see that? I literally did no work. The only work I did was to find that entry, that prime sniper killer entry at the beginning of the move. It dipped in my position or my direction. I covered my back, and then what else? I just left it to do its own thing. That is it. That is just one aspect of the psychology. But if you know this trick, it'll go a long way to help you. So I'm gonna leave you guys now. Finally leave you guys. You don't take partial profit. I do take partial profit when I want to. But if I've made enough money, then I can literally afford to let the trade run on a full lot size. That way I make even more money, right? But as a beginner, you may be scared because you're obviously starting your trading account. You have like a couple of bucks in there, some $100, $200, $500. You're scared to see that you literally made $100 and then you lose that money again, right? Because the market just reversed on you. So you may want to take some partial profit. But me, I don't care if the market reverses on me, right? So because I don't care if the market reverses on me, I can literally let that full position size run, and I capitalize on the full move. Yeah, but sometimes I do take partial profit though. So it depends on the way the market is behaving. Then I do that, right? Yeah, I'm gonna leave you guys finally now. I think I've explained just what it means to breed that psychology of holding a position, right? There's more to it, right? This is just one section of psychology 101, right? But I'll talk more about it, and then we'll see how. But this is you not really working hard. This is you working smart, right? Apparently, you enter trade more than once, and you take some. I do that sometimes as well. What time frame is that? This was the 4-hour time frame, though. Yep. You don't care because you got your back covered. Exactly. I don't care because I got my back covered. If it takes me out, fair enough, I'll find another trade. If it doesn't take me out, let's go. Right. So I posted something on my story. I said, well, it's difficult for a trade to drip or jet off, but once you're able to go through that gyration period, they got to let the trade cruise, right? So this is the cruise stage. This is the cruise stage of the market. Cruise. Just stay and let the market drip, 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 drip. And then, yeah, that is it. Gotta leave you guys now. Already exhausted. Gonna find something to eat. And we'll catch up. If I find some trades, I'll share it. And then, yeah, if I'm able to get some more trades, I'll send some in the community as well, right? I'll see you guys. Take care of yourself.